Hey, welcome back for another ballistics gel test. I hope you can hear me. It's a little bit windy. Today we're going to be shooting Hornady VMAX 95 grain 6.5 Creedmoor. We'll take a look at the box. It is very artistic and pretty. Flipping it around, so it talks about the VMAX bullet. Basically, the VMAX is meant to sort of blow up pretty rapidly to put down different types of varmints. Let's look at the stated velocity. It says muzzle velocity is 3,300 feet per second. We will see if that is true. And we'll take a quick look at the ammo out of the box. Looks fine, nothing weird, no dents, no dings. Brass is pretty clean, bullets look nice, they're evenly seated. You got that nice polymer tip for absolutely devastating expansion. Let's see how they shoot. And the test rifle today is my Ruger American 6.5 Creedmoor 22-inch barrel, and I've got a Leupold VX Freedom scope on top. We'll be taking 3 shots from 100 yards, firing into 10% ballistics gel that has been calibrated to meet the FBI's ballistics testing protocol. And while ballistics gel isn't an exact proxy for big game, it does provide a repeatable medium through which to test various bullets and ammo against each other. After the shots, we'll examine bullet expansion, weight retention, penetration, and velocity. My goal is to provide hunters like you and I with the most objective information possible to help us make the best choice for our particular hunting situation. The ballistics gel in this video has been sourced from Clear Ballistics. You can find a link in the description. Alright, we're down here at the blocks, and let me tell you, that 95 grain VMAX out of a 6.5 Creedmoor is wild. It is a grenade. We did not even get into the second block, which is what you want. It performed as advertised and I think as desired, so it flipped the block completely over. Here's the entry. You can see just tons of fragments. I mean, it just blew up inside here. Moving on back, and there is what is left of the bullet. All right, we got the tape measure set up to look at penetration, and it looks like the what's left over, at least, of the bullet is right at 1 foot 12 inches. Going on back, you have an absolutely just devastating wound channel between about the 1.5 inch and 4.5 inch mark. If you're hunting coyotes or something, I'd say this is the ticket. All right, I'm gonna head on back and take shots 2 and 3. All right, we're back down at the blocks after shots 2 and 3, and my table has seen better days. I thought it would last longer, but apparently these things slam pretty hard. So we didn't ever get any into the second block right there. We've got all 3 captured in the first block with relatively consistent penetration on all 3. I got the tape measure there. We can take a look at penetration, and it looks like our shallowest is just a hair over 10 inches, and then we got one at about 11 and one at about 12 inches. And just look at the devastation that these 95 grain VMAXs do. I mean, 6.5 millimeter is pretty big diameter for varmint, and it will definitely do the job. Let's take a look at the velocities for that 95 grain VMAX from the 6.5 Creedmoor. Here. The high was 3108, the low was 3108, and the average was 3108. I am not kidding you. I looked at this every single time. The chronograph has been nothing but completely accurate all day, and all 3 shots were exactly the same. What we are looking at here are the remnants of the 6.5 Creedmoor Hornady Varmint Express 95 grain VMAX bullets. So these bullets did their job in the block. They shattered and more or less exploded. These are just the biggest chunks I was able to recover from it. And overall, of these chunks, we got 33% weight retention, which isn't a goal of this particular ammo. The idea is that it does shatter and it does kind of blow up in target, and it definitely did the job. And amongst these shards, the average diameter, expanded diameter, was 0.49 inches, so almost half an inch, and that works out to a 1.9x expansion. And again, that's not really the idea of this ammo, but it is kind of good that we have some chunks left over to go ahead and penetrate through if that's what you're looking for. But of course, the bulk of the mass of each one of the bullets just fragmented and blew up in target, which is the idea, and that's what you want. And then as far as velocity goes, we had some very interesting data. So our high velocity, low velocity, and average velocity was all 3108. They were all exactly the same, all 3 shots, and hence the average 3,108 feet per second versus a build velocity of 3,300. So we were a bit slow, 192 foot per second slow, but the consistency is definitely there. And then for penetration, we averaged 11 inches, and that's penetration of the biggest chunks of what was left over. Of course, the bulk of the bullets shattered and fragmented pretty much as soon as they enter the block, which again is exactly what you want in a varmint bullet. Final thoughts on that Hornady Varmint Express 95 grain VMAX out of the 6.5 Creedmoor. It performed well. It's, I think, a bit overkill for things like coyotes and anything smaller that you would consider a varmint. The 6.5 Creedmoor really is overall sort of overkill for something like that. I think, and this is just my opinion, that Hornady's intention behind offering this ammo is to just make the 6.5 Creedmoor a little bit more versatile. I mean, we might as well throw a varmint load in there if we can, and so that's what we got. As far as penetration, the 11-inch average that we got, with the biggest shards, at least the biggest chunks of the bullets that were left, that's a bit much penetration. If you're shooting a coyote, I think that's going to go all the way through. So if you're worried about saving the pelt, you might have an exit hole. But again, it's a heavy caliber for varmint hunting. But if you got a 6.5 Creedmoor and you want to do it all with it, I think this ammo helps you do that. Hey, if you enjoy these videos, check out my website, masonleather.com, and get yourself some leather gear handmade by me just for you. I've been handcrafting leather gear for hunters for over a decade, and I would love to make you something. The link is in the video description. And check out my channel for more hunting ammo ballistics gel tests.